Looking back, I should have sensed that something wasn't right long before we stepped out of the apartment. Clara had been getting ready for almost 3 hours. That in itself wasn't odd. She always took her time getting dolled up. But tonight felt different. She wasn't just putting on makeup and heels. She was stepping into another version of herself. The kind of version who wore the green satin dress she once joked she'd only wear if she were meeting royalty. The same heels I hadn't seen her wear in over a year. She went all out, flawless foundation, smoky eyes, every detail perfected. From the couch, I watched her check the mirror for the third time. "You look stunning," I said, meaning every word. "Thanks," she replied without looking at me, her focus on adjusting one last piece of jewelry. No smile, no eye contact, just a clipped thank you. She'd been with the firm for over a year now, and tonight was the company's 15-year anniversary celebration, an upscale rooftop affair downtown. Big clients, out-of-town executives, endless champagne, and a live jazz band. This was her scene. I was just the plus one. On the elevator ride down to the garage, I reached for her hand. She let me take it, but her fingers barely held mine. Her body was there, but her mind wasn't. I could have asked what was wrong, but I didn't. Maybe I didn't want to start a fight before the night even began. When we arrived, it felt like stepping into a place I didn't belong, a world with its own language and rules I hadn't been taught. People mingled in sleek suits and designer dresses, all wearing name badges. Their laughter sounded rehearsed. The elevator doors opened into a rooftop of glass and light, with the skyline glittering on all sides. Soft jazz floated through the air, and waiters weaved between guests with champagne flutes balanced on trays. Clara was immediately swept into the crowd. "Clara, you made it. Clara, come meet the partners. There she is, the department's rising star." And just like that, she dropped my hand. No introduction. "No, this is Daniel, my boyfriend." Nothing. I trailed behind her like a ghost as she made her way from one group to the next, flashing smiles, laughing easily, tossing out compliments like confetti. I tried to keep up for a while. Then I stopped trying. Eventually, she ended up talking to her direct supervisor, Alan. Mid-50s, silver hair, wore confidence like a custom suit. Everything about him looked polished and expensive. I lingered nearby, waiting for some acknowledgement, even a glance in my direction. It never came. Instead, she laughed at something he said, rested her hand lightly on his arm, and teased, "You're the worst, Alan." I excused myself quietly and made my way to the bar. The bartender poured a whiskey neat. I drank it in one gulp, letting the burn settle the ache rising in my chest. From across the room, I watched her. She wasn't ignoring me. She was pretending I didn't exist. Sitting at a cocktail table near the back, I stared at my phone, pretending to scroll, pretending not to keep watching her. But I couldn't help it. She looked like someone else. Not just dressed up, reborn. Like she was trying on a version of her life that didn't include me. An hour and 20 minutes passed. She'd spoken maybe twice to me the entire time. No one asked who I was because she hadn't told anyone I was someone. Then came the moment that crushed whatever was left. A guy in his late 20s, smooth and good-looking, approached her. He leaned in, closer than polite, and she laughed again. The laugh that used to be mine, the one I knew from private jokes under blankets and sleepy mornings. She touched his shoulder gently. He whispered something in her ear. She tilted her head, smiling in a way that didn't belong to me anymore. I gave it 5 more minutes. She didn't glance over once. So I stood up, buttoned my jacket, took one last look at her, and I walked out. No scene, no confrontation, just the quiet rhythm of my footsteps across the floor and the cold hum of the elevator. Once I reached the garage, I didn't wait. I took the stairs instead, each step pounding like a drum in my chest. She didn't call. Not immediately. I got into my car and drove. No direction, no destination. Just kept going until the city lights faded behind me, and all I could hear was the steady sound of tires on asphalt. Eventually, I pulled up outside Nate's place. Sent a text. "You up?" He opened the door in sweatpants, Didn't ask questions, just pointed toward the guest room. I collapsed onto the bed without saying much. In the morning, my phone lit up, 12 missed calls for voicemails and a cascade of texts. Where are you? Why did you leave? I've been looking everywhere. You could have said something. Please call me. I didn't answer. Back at our apartment, I knew she'd find the ring. I hadn't planned to propose that night, but I had been close. It had been hidden in my sock drawer for a week. I was just waiting for the perfect moment. Turns out, I was just waiting for the wrong person. 3 days passed before we saw each other again. She looked worn out, hair tied back, no makeup. Just Clara. The Clara I'd fallen for. The one who never made it to that rooftop. She sat across from me on the couch and said quietly, I didn't mean to make you feel like you didn't matter. I nodded but said nothing. I got caught up, she continued. It was a big night. Alan was watching. Clients were there. I didn't know how to balance it. Still, I remained silent. I didn't mean to shut you out, Daniel. That's when I looked her in the eyes. You didn't shut me out, I said calmly. You erased me. There's a difference. She cried. I didn't. We didn't officially break up that night, but something inside me broke. Quietly, deeply. And once it cracked, it never quite came back together. She still brings up that night sometimes. Swears she didn't realize how it looked, how it felt. But I remember all of it. The way she laughed. The way she leaned into someone else's touch. The way I became invisible. And the way it felt to finally walk away, not because I was angry, but because I was done chasing someone who no longer saw me. Because sometimes, the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all.